calls yet. Right now, we're playing our calls, learning our calls, and all that. But talking with Cheetah Rouzier, I know that we do have that freedom. Like when he was with under Coach McIntyre at Colorado, and Coach McIntyre makes sure we know what our defenses are and what they should be. And he tells us now, like, hey, if I ever call this call when they're in this formation, check out of it. And so, I mean, we do have that freedom, but right now we're really focusing on implementing the defense. But because we haven't gotten the season with him yet, we've just had the spring.
Who has the best shoe game on the team?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's got to be. I knew who it would have been, but he graduated. He left. DeMarcus Lodge, man. He had Christian Louboutins, all that. But no, our guy Miles Hartsfield has some serious shoes.
Somebody said Matt Carroll.
Matt Corral?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have some good shoe game too. Him and Lodge were close. He had a lot of that, but you know, I see some of the guys with the off-white Nike shoes on. I over here have team-issued shoes. I'm like, man, step up my game.
So they're talking about the NCAA game being reinstated. If you're on that game, what would be your rating?
Honestly, I don't know. It's hard to answer that question. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what they would give me.
What would be your highest attribute then?
Highest attribute? My highest attribute would be. Did they have? What? Did they have any mental attributes like
Awareness.
Yeah, my awareness would be up. Would be up there. I didn't know if they had that for the NCAA game too.
Yeah.
I was young when that came out. But, yeah, I think awareness. I pride myself on my mental capacity when it comes to football.
We're talking fashion. Why'd you cut the blonde out?
I don't know. It was just time for it to go. You know, there was a lot of upkeep. I don't know. Maybe I'll grow it back, but right now I'm sticking with the short look for now.
Did you pick out that tie?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah, I went and got this a couple of days ago.
Good tie.
I don't know. I was looking for a new tie, and I saw it, and I was like, "That's the one."
You may have been asked this, but what's the difference like in intensity with McIntyre as your defensive coordinator? Do you see a difference out there?
Yes, I do see a difference. A lot of it has to do with the confidence the players have. You know, we have a lot of older players coming back. A lot of confidence has been built for them just playing over the past 3-4 years. So there is that. He's a very calm, collected, methodical guy, but he's a great coach.
Got a lot of experience.
A lot of experience. He's a
Bill
tested,
Parcells.
seasoned coach. Got coach of the year 1 year. Coach Pac-12 coach of the year.
National coach of the year too.
National coach of the year too. Yeah, he's a great coach.
Coach Luke talked about a few times that you guys were kind of playing with a chip on your shoulder defensively, that you guys were kind of sick about hearing how you kind of underperformed the last few years. What is that feeling like within the defensive room?
The way it feels, and he says this one too. I don't know if he told y'all this, but it feels like it's the 12th round. We're down, and our back's against the ropes, and we have nothing left to do or nothing left to lose. So it's time to come off the rope and swing. That's our only option, and that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna give it our all. We're gonna come out swinging, and we're gonna do the best we can. And that's what he's tried to build our culture to be. That team that's just gonna be blue collar, downhill, hard-nosed football team.
How much do you guys pay attention to what people are saying? Matt Corral said he has hanging in his locker the fact that you guys are 7-point underdogs against Memphis.
Yeah, I have that too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big driving factor. You know, Memphis is a great team. They had the number 5 scoring offense in the nation last year. They're slotted to go undefeated, and we're trying to end that promptly with the first game of the season and show people that we are about business and our defense is good and we can stop high-scoring, high-powered offenses.
Kind of a random one for you. Do you understand the targeting rule? I know they
Yes,
change it every year.
I did actually. I got clarification on that at the SEC Leadership Council because we had officials come and I wanted to know the exact rules. So there's 2 types of targeting. There's targeting where you lead with the crown of your helmet, which is obviously targeting because you can seriously injure yourself. And there's also targeting hitting above the neck, like neck and up. So you can hit somebody as hard, like there's that targeting block, like blocking targeting. You can hit somebody as hard as you want, no penalty. If you hit in the strike zone, you have to hit above the waist and below the neck. But if you're, even if you lead with your shoulder, if you're like with Dawson Knox when he had a crackback block, he led with his shoulder, but the shoulder hit the dude's side of his head, and it was too high. The ref had no choice but to call it, and I respect that call because he's protecting us. So anytime you hit a defenseless player above the neck with any part of your body, it's going to be a targeting foul because you can seriously injure them.
It seems like you were curious about this. How much time do you guys spend talking about these rules in the meetings? Is it something that's talked about, or do kind of individual players have to know their own stuff?
I mean, not really. We just get told, keep your head up, see what you hit, which is good for that first part of the targeting rule. But the second one, when someone does lead with their head up and hits with their shoulder, if you hit them above the neck, you're going to get a penalty. And that's what a lot of players don't understand, just because it hasn't been very well communicated. But Commissioner Sankey was great for having them, getting us in front of those refs and having us ask any questions we wanted so we could take the information back to our team.
Are you the smartest guy on the defense? Do you think? You're pretty smart, MoMo.
I wouldn't say I'm the smartest guy. I mean, we have a lot of astute guys, you know, like Jalen Jones, Miles Hartsfield, Willie Hibbler's a great, smart guy when it comes to football. We have a lot of smart guys, but I tried to pride myself on being intelligent both on and off the field.
As a guy that goes to those leadership meetings and is involved and knowledgeable about a lot of the NCAA proceedings, what would you do to kind of, I don't know, fix is the word, but maybe like augment some of the amateurism rules that have become, I don't know what the word is, talked about negatively?
Are you talking about like the California law that's about to be passed?
Like, what would you do if you were trying to find a way to maybe pay players without, paying players?
I mean, that's kind of over my head, you know. My job is to play football. That's not even over. That's over the SEC's head. That's the SEC, the NCAA as a whole. So, I mean, I trust those guys are doing what they can for the players. They've done a lot for us. They've taken away 2-a-days to help keep guys healthy. It's reduced a lot of the injuries. The rules like the targeting, and they made a new rule about cut blocking from the outside to protect players. So they're doing a lot to protect and help players. So I'm confident that they'll come to some conclusion in the next 5 years or so. It's a process. The legislation of it all is a big process. So.
You said you talked to Chidobe a little bit about Coach McIntyre. Did you talk to anyone else when he was coming in? What kind of stuff did you want to know?
I talked to him, and I talked to one of my boys that I trained with a lot growing up in Dallas, Chris Miller. He plays at Colorado right now. He played a lot for him as a freshman. But everybody just kind of had the same thing, that he's a defensive genius. He knows what he's talking about, and he's going to put us in the position to win games.
On the flip side, I know you're on defense, but what have you seen out of Rich? Both Alex and Matt said he's pretty feisty.
Oh, yeah, he's really intense. And it's funny because he has a switch, off the field, he's the nicest guy you've ever met. He's got 2 tiny little dogs. He walks them around in a stroller. But he's a great coach, an intense coach. He makes the offense work harder than they've ever. He makes them push themselves, and that's why that he's got so many accolades as a coach as well. And his offensive scheme is very good, very tricky, and he's very intuitive with it. If you react on defense, if you react to what he's doing, he's going to react to what he's going to fire back. He's always got an answer. And he's leading this offense in the right direction. What's
the hardest thing to stop about that offense?
The fact that you don't know what's coming. If you stop something, they're going to change. If you're stopping spread, they're going to keep guys in the core. If you stop that, he's going to go 2-back. If you stop, he's always got an answer. He's always got something like, I bet you can't stop this one. So, and I like that about him. He's very in tune to the game of football, not just playing football, but the game between coaches, the strategic game.
How much are you seeing two running backs on the field at once?
A good amount. Like everything he's doing, he's done in blocks. He's like during spring football, he's done in blocks. So like we got to see a good amount of everything he did. And in the spring game, he didn't bring out the full arsenal of what he's been implementing. So I've seen it pretty evenly with everything else he does. But he's doing a good job of making sure that what they do is done to the fullest ability.
Alex was saying that he sees a lot of the same fire that Rich Rod has in Matt. Do you see some of that? Alex said they're like the same person. Do you see some of
Yeah,
that?
they really are. They're the same. As it comes to football, Matt is feisty. Matt is a competitor, and I would say the same thing about Rich Rod. They're competitors. They want to win. They won't deal with losing. They want to work hard to get to the win. And that, like I said, Rich Rod's been making the offense work harder than they have had before. Then Matt's going to the side and making all his receivers work harder than they ever have before, so that he can push himself as well. So he's a great quarterback, and we're going to see him shine this year.
You see that kind of similarities, being able to click kind of on that front.
Yeah. Gotta go. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.